Hey everybody, Brandon Charleston here, recording another quick video and tutorial for all things AI automation. This video, I'm going to demonstrate a really quick and complete end-to-end Clay walkthrough as far as a new integration that has just dropped from my friends over at Sendspark, which is essentially a personalized video outreach platform. And so they've been working really hard, I know, on that feature, especially when it comes to AI voice cloning, which is pretty exciting, considered all things. And so with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So if you're not already familiar with Senspark, they essentially they may shoot fire at this, but they're kind of like your Loom, right? So they're essentially a video platform where you can record your screen. And obviously the big thing right now is being able to send personalized video. And one of those things is just being able to use AI to change from text to audio, right? And so if you're not already familiar with using AI and voice cloning, the key here is watermelon. Just remember that, watermelon. So, and the reason we use watermelon, or that most platforms are using watermelon, is number one, I don't have any friends that are named watermelon. If you do, then they probably should be your favorite friend, unless it's your favorite fruit, right? Number two, it is, in my opinion, or what I've been told as well, is it's one of those words, when you say it, it's enough to have a deep fake, and it's enough of a variable to determine through AI that it's very consistent to actually replace, right? Because at what point, especially in business discussions, are you going to say, unless you do a research paper about watermelons, then that actually might be pretty fruitful. No pun intended. So not to go off on a tangent here, but definitely check out the FAQs when it comes to use of being able to use chroma key or green screen type of words, right? Like watermelon. And so definitely best practice is to definitely check this out, and be familiar with that. So if you're not already signed into Sendspark, definitely encourage you to check it out. Definitely schedule a demo with them if you have questions or anything like that. This is definitely not an affiliation or sponsored video. They're just good people to me and good buddies, and so I just want to help them out. So what you're going to want to do is, let me just shrink my face a little more here, is firstly get yourself familiar with the platform. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to create a campaign. Now obviously I've done this for testing purposes here, but you're going to essentially create a campaign. And if you didn't already notice, that button up here, create dynamic video, right? So we're going to create dynamic video. It's going to just say, create your name, or your campaign name rather, and then you're going to go into configuring all the details that you want to do. Now, this is already populated because I went ahead and recorded a video, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to record a video. It could be uploaded through any number of platforms, right? So obviously you can use their Chrome extension or their in-platform recorder, which is what I did. And then what you're going to want to do as best practice, as I mentioned before, is you're going to say, hey, watermelon, and then pause, and then say, you don't want to be an exhaustive pause, but you really want to emphasize the greeting and watermelon and not immediately run into your VSL or your offer or your pitch, because it's just not going to sound clean, right? In my opinion anyway. So something like this would be, hey, watermelon, blah, 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 your offer, etc., right? So you may want to, obviously play with it and making sure that it sounds consistent with your voice and what you want to do. But you're going to add the video, and then what you're going to do is this is going to be initially off, but just go ahead and turn it on. Voice cloning is going to take about 5 minutes to do, and then you should be good to go. And so there's no need to add any sort of leads. I would definitely encourage you to, configure the merge tags here as far as, hey, first name. Now this is going to be on their landing page and things like that, which you could see here. And so just as a little plug here, this is what you call Spintax. So it's going to jump between one and the other, just so for that filler, just to make sure it's, you're not just saying, hey, if the first name doesn't exist, for example. So anyway, so this is about it. No need to do anything else for step one. And so if you didn't already configure your API connection between Clay and Sendspark, you're just going to want to go here and then click on your API credentials. There's going to be two things. There's going to be your API token and your API secret. So you just go to workspace settings, and then I already searched Sendspark. but you're just going to bring up the integration and then just go ahead and put in your account, and then you should be good to go. I was told by the team that in the future it probably may drop, who knows when, but you'll be able to utilize Clay credits, and so it may, I don't believe it'll actually require an actual account, so you'll just use credits within your Clay account, but nonetheless, this is how you use it if you already have an account with Sendspark. So now, the way you do this complete workflow from end to end in Clay, at least right now as of this recording, is step one, you're going to get all your leads, right? So whatever workflow you're doing, you're going to get down to your people, who you want to reach out to. You're going to enrich, do all of the stuff and the scoring, get your email address, obviously is best practice there. That's if, of course, you're using email as far as your outreach. Now, if you're using LinkedIn or any other platform, it really just depends, right? But you're going to need at least an email address or some consistency there. And so from there, I'm essentially doing the workflow like any other Clay table, and then you're just going to go to add enrichment, and you're just going to search Senspark, and you're going to see add prospect to video campaign. Now, what that is going to do is obviously add it and trigger to Sendspark to create the video. Now, some areas, at least as of this recording, all these fields are required in order for actually to launch it. But you're going to need, contact name. So I actually tried this. I just did the first full name, or not the first name, but the full name. And it says contact name here, but just do the first name, because I've done the full name and it will have the AI say the full name, which, you know, obviously you're not going to be like, hi, Brandon Charleston, this is blah, 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 right? So just do your first name. And then you're going to have contact email. And then obviously the other ones are pretty self-explanatory, but just go ahead and punch those in. And then I also have a video when it comes to conditional formulas to make sure you're not wasting credits or anything like that. And so more to come on that. So you're going to save it. And then I always recommend, obviously, you know, maybe try it with one or two to make sure it's going appropriately before, at least for me, making sure that the videos are, you know, everything that you expect. And then from there, you know, do 10, and then from there, let it rip with however many prospects that you have, right? So in step one, this is essentially going to be the end of this particular half of the workflow. Obviously, there's a lot of other things you could do when it comes to maybe another platform, or add them to your CRM, or whatever sort of steps you want to do. But in this particular step, this is going to be, in my opinion, the end of this particular step one, in which we are going to go to step two. And so step two, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to your Sendspark account, go to webhooks. I'm already on here, so obviously it's already populated, but you're just going to create a new webhook, and then you're going to type in whatever your webhook is. Go to your Clay account, right? And we're just going to go ahead and duplicate it just for S&Gs. So don't mind the error there. I just like to burn through credits. It's all good. So we're going to create a new table, and then we are essentially going to import data from a webhook, right? So we're going to create a new blank table. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to give you a webhook catch URL. So think of it like playing ball, right? So I'm essentially throwing this to this particular table, and I'm going to copy that and then punch that in to your new webhook, which is going to just be right here. So, and then you can see that this is actually the webhook URL. Type is global, status is on. You know, we want it on and working, right? Now, this is where we can get saucy as far as Clay and webhooks and all the things, right, that we could do. So on this particular instance, I have it, the webhook configured to video created. So what that's going to do is, in this first one, as I mentioned, step one, essentially score. We're going to do all my lead stuff, right, as an example. And now I'm going to trigger Senspark to create the video. The reason we want to do that is because these particular videos are not an instant, like, all right, just create it and I get a response back. There's going to take some time depending on what that, how long your video is. You may have like a 30-minute VSL. I wouldn't do that. But there's going to be a variable here to where we want to catch that URL once it's done, especially at scale and for consistent programmatic results, right? We don't necessarily want to do just the next column because it's just not going to be truly automated, in my opinion. So for then, moving forward, we're going to catch the video once it's done. So it takes maybe, I don't know, less than a minute. It definitely doesn't take very long. But we're going to essentially catch the URL, right? So this is all the data that is from Sendspark coming back at us, right? So we're going to have the embed link, we're going to have the thumbnail URL, all those things, right? And then what you're going to want to do is to do what you call a lookup, right? So we're going to look up a single row in the other table, because now what we want to do is we've already have all this data, all this stuff, all these credits burned, right, in our step 1 table. So then what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull all that into this table so we can keep it flowing and get the data streamlined, right? So from here, you're just going to populate your workspace, right? So, well, first, so you're going to find your first step, right? Your first table, and then you're going to go to email. At least that's what I found to be most consistent, equals, and then you're going to go to the contact email right here. So all you got to do is bring that in, and then I would bring it as a column, bring it to the surface, I like to say, because it's under the surface here. And then you're just going to essentially pull the information, right? So email equals contact email. So that's going to be a consistent way to pull all the data. And then you can see just from right here that all the information, just like similarly to step 1, all the information, including my Claygen stuff, was passed along. So you can see all the stuff has been passed along, where I could actually append the data to anything that I want to do in order to make hyper-personalized outreach or anything that I want to do to finish it, right? So that is how you kind of do end-to-end when it comes to using something like Sendspark programmatically. And then, obviously finish out your workflow, whether you use Instantly or Smart Lead or any sort of LinkedIn automation, that kind of thing. And so that's really about it. So that is how you do start to finish personalized video outreach, using words like watermelon. Just like I said, keep in mind best practice there. Definitely toy with it. There's a lot of variables and a lot of creativity at stake here for all the things when it comes to clay, obviously. So get creative, and we'll see where that goes. So with that, I just ask, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the connection here and all that stuff. And so if there's anything else, please drop a comment below, reach out, happy to help. But happy clay making. Take care.